Welcome back, everyone. I'm Linda Jackson with Mark Carboni and Rachel Blakeman. They are with Young Leaders of Northeast Indiana, which, if I may say so myself, I try not to editorialize ever, and I'm not supposed to, and I know that, but you are an integral part of, I think, the future of this community, and I know that's what you're setting out to be. And we talked about the impact that you have had, and I know we'll continue to have. You guys are going nowhere. But let's talk about the individuals. You know, we can get a lot out of being involved with a group like this, a lot out of it as that group and our impact on the community. But we also get a lot out of this as an individual. How do you think this helps shape your members as individual leaders? I mean, I'm suspecting that they're discovering a lot about themselves. Yeah?
They are. You know, one of the things that really can happen is that you can start to get your name into the organizations where you'd like to. So if you want to serve on a board, you know, there's a Leadership Institute, which Rachel probably can talk a lot more about.
Yeah, actually, I was
February,
yeah,
right?
well, actually, we're accepting applications now through February 1st, and they'll be starting in March. And I went through it last year, and we'll be going into our third Leadership Institute, and it's a competitive application process for 25 seats. We're looking for young professionals in the community, young leaders, who are interested in finding out a little bit more about themselves and the leadership process. So it's a series of 5-day-long Saturday workshops that are held in Fort Wayne, and they feature presenters from various aspects of the community talking about things like leadership style, effective communications, and being a part of your community, diversity. So we're really touching on some things that are important for people to understand and to take the time that they may not be able to do in their professional life, and also build those all-important social and professional networks from this organization and from that particular program.
Do you both mind sharing with the folks at home your day job information, what you guys do? Because this isn't all that they do. This is a ton of what they do, but...
Yeah, I'm actually the marketing director for Lancia Homes. That's my day job.
Okay.
And I'm president of Tri-State Maintenance.
Yes, and I knew that. But now, I want to ask you individually why you each got involved in Young Leaders of Northeast Indiana. Mark.
You know, I've been volunteering since I was 20 years old, and so I know
it's a big part of you.
It is. It really has shaped who I am. It's helped me in my business life. The friends that I have, the social network I have is just phenomenal. And what I've realized is that I had excellent mentors to guide me through that path to where I am today. And Young Leaders also, the organization, can be that same catalyst to help move people through and meet those people and be introduced to so many different facets of our community that you may never have seen before. And it's always interesting when people say there's nothing to do in Fort Wayne, and you realize once you have tapped into this community, it's endless. There's something that you can always be doing, and I think that's why Young Leaders meant so much to me, was that I could actually see an entire group of people being mentored at the same time, the same way that I was individually mentored.
That's so wonderful that you were touched that way, that young.
Yes.
Because personally, it breaks my heart when I hear an older teenager or a young 20-something say, there's just not that much to do in this community. Wrong. Yeah. Rachel.
Well, not being from here, I don't have the contacts that you have growing up from high school so I've had to create my own community.
Sure.
And so Young Leaders was great for the fact that it gave me that opportunity to meet like-minded people that I would otherwise never potentially have any contact with, because of the fact that, you know your people from your church, and you know the people from your neighborhood, and you know the people you work with, but there's a whole other segment of the community that you're just never quite sure how to tap into. And this is a great entry point for people who are thinking, you know, I want to be more involved in my community. I want to be out there. I want to be involved, but I'm just not sure how to do it.
It helps show the way.
Exactly. And so that way, as Fort Wayne is so interconnected and everyone knows everyone, once you get into the circle, then everything opens up for you. And so this is a great way for people to sort of break in, especially if they feel very lost in Fort Wayne, for the fact that they're new and they don't know anyone, they don't know anything. This gives them that entry point.
Well put by both of you, definitely. Let's get to the contact information, but right before we do that, I have to ask, is politics in either of your futures? I've never talked to you about that. I should have asked you that.
You know, it could be. It's something I'm so passionate about our community that politics would be a very next step.
Very natural.
For me to do. Yes.
How about you? I don't mean to put you on the spot, but you know, they are our ultimate leaders in our community.
It's something that I've given consideration, but I've also seen people were on the campaign trail, so I'm not sure if it's a good fit at this moment, but I wouldn't rule it out.
But you're both young. Very young. Both very young. All right, here is
Thanks,
the contact information. You are. I know you are. The contact information for young leaders of Northeast Indiana. There is a post office box 10774, Fort Wayne 468-530774. Most importantly, this is a very tech-savvy group of young people, and that www.ylni.org is the best resource for now, if you're interested. And you know, if you're older, a little older like me, and you still want to support a group of youngsters like this, get involved with your resources if you feel that you can, because they will take those donations, and I know it will help because the future is strong, I think, with this organization.
Well, and also we have our whole community events, such as YLNI The Vote when we held the Harrison Square Forum. There are things like that are happening that are open to the community. So just because you aren't a member doesn't mean we won't see you around.
Right, there are different levels of involvement, if you will. So get involved, get involved. This is a great example of why we should always be involved